Okay, here we are. Video number one. Hi, everybody. My name is Sue Johnston. I am a retired counselor, and I decided to start a YouTube channel probably about a year ago, and I made a lot of mistakes. And that is in part because I didn't take time to learn how to do it. And there's all kinds of videos out there about how to do it. This is not a how to do it per se, but it's a chronicle or it's a recording of my journey towards, let's say, the first 1,000. I'm at 900 and I was 972. Now I'm 966, and there's a reason for that, and I will explain it. Like most people, I think, who decide to start a YouTube channel, if they don't know what their niche is, and most of us don't, I would think. I don't know what the odds are, but then we just kind of start it and get stuff out there and see how it goes. Well, what happened for me was that I was starting off by focusing on creativity. As a retired counselor, I knew that creativity helped a lot of people in terms of burnout, depression, anxiety, and I wanted to be able to share some of that information. So then I sort of morphed into woodworking and various crafts because COVID happened. So a lot of our activities were indoors, and I was doing stuff indoors. So I started putting videos out with that. But let me tell you the few basic mistakes that I made. First of all, I was just kind of doing it for fun. Whereas if you really want to get subscribers, you got to view it as a business. And I do have business sense. I have a marketing background as well, which I had before I became a counselor. So when you peruse various videos on how to create a YouTube channel, you will find two main things that they talk about, and that is your thumbnails and your title. I do recall sending a comment to a YouTuber who's got a big following, and she was polite enough to respond. I asked her, I said, look, I'm 68 at the time. How do I do this? And the only thing she came back, which I thought was really sweet, was she said, you have to have a thumbnail. And I thought, well, what the heck is a thumbnail? I don't know. Like a thumbnail? The nail on your thumb? I don't know. Anyway, so I finally figured that one out. But my problem was that all my thumbnails were created in Pages, and I had a white background and you need color. So that was probably mistake number one. And number two, I just put a title on it like, this is about knitting, this is woodworking, this is creating a birdhouse, this is whatever it was I was doing, this is using chalk paint for the first time. These were some of the videos that I had. And I didn't realize that my background, my thumbnail, and my title would do nothing to draw attention. They would do nothing to say to anybody, hey, I want to look into this. How many videos did I put out? The numbers are skewed now because I've actually deleted some. I think every YouTuber in the beginning have videos that they think, that's kind of embarrassing. I'm not going to leave that one up there, so they delete them. That's what I did. After a while, I thought, well, I'm knitting a lot. And that became sort of my therapy, fill in the hours during COVID lockdowns, shutdowns, and all that sort of stuff. Stay home, the government kept saying. So I was knitting a lot. And then I thought, okay, so maybe that's my niche. And I'll just focus on that. And I'll put a lot of knitting videos out there. The problem is, I also went camping now and again. And that's what really grabbed people's attention, even without me creating a really neat thumbnail or title. So I was getting a few followers, few subscribers, but eventually I realized nobody could find me, and it was my fault. So one day, in between a few days of camping, and then I had a day and a half, and then we went off to Disney. So that day and a half, I said to myself, okay, I've been trying to put a video out once a week because I heard somewhere that you need to do that. If you're going to get serious about it, you got to have a video out at least once a week. So I was doing that. And I thought, I'm going to be away for at least a couple of weeks. I got to put a video out there. So I took video of our camping, and it was the first time I had purchased a tripod. So I set it up and just turned it on. And then I added a few commentary pieces to it and interviewed my husband to ask him what he thought about camping. That video ended up gaining over 95,000 viewers. I don't know what the number is now. This is October 2nd. Not sure what the number is. 95,000 viewers. It grabbed people somehow. And being a counselor and being analytical, I'm like, why? What was different? So I eventually found that out. First of all, I didn't really stop to create a thumbnail. Not like I used to. I used to pull graphics in and into pages and add some words. And I was previously treating my thumbnails like they were a slideshow, like a slide in PowerPoint, which I've done that in social work. I used to do that. That was wrong. Okay. So for my 2 seniors camping, I simply had a picture of our campground and I just put 2 seniors camping. So 2 things I did. Number one is the picture itself acted as my thumbnail and it had a lot of color in it. And the second thing is your title should have 5 words or less. So I did 2 seniors camping. And that's it. 3 words. That was my title. I started doing some more research, and it's funny because I like researching, but I hadn't taken my YouTube videos seriously enough. I hadn't viewed it as a business. Now, with that response and an increase in subscriber numbers, I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. You can't just recreate the same kind of video and keep putting it out there. It's got to be different. But I had to figure out like why, what was the appeal, what's going on here. So I did some research, and that's when I found out about YouTube Studio. And they give you all that information. They give you the analytics. They tell you where on a graph where your video is going, who's subscribed, who the new ones are, who the repeat people are that are viewing yours, percentages, where they come from. People that viewed my video came from the US and Canada, of course, small percentage in Canada, and that's where I'm from. People all around the world were looking at this, and I'm like, this is amazing information. And then I found out most of them were females, some males, and most of them were 65 and over. Well, I deduced that on my own anyways, just by the comments. Lots of lovely comments, and I love that too. All the comments I was getting and responding. It just seemed like natural to respond back to people, thank you, and to get involved in the conversation with them and to say various things, which apparently is also another courtesy thing, but it helps you get engaged with the people who are viewing your channel. So again, that was something else I didn't know that you needed to do. So when people were logging into my camping video, and I realized I needed to have similar kind of content to put out there, which I did do. Got a kayak for my birthday, so we put that out there. Bought a new tent for the back of my vehicle, and I put that out there. And I'm still getting views, and I was still getting a few subscribers. Then I put out a knitting video because that's what I had done previously on my channel, and I lost a subscriber. And I said, it's probably that one guy who said, well, if you keep putting videos like that out there, meaning camping and outdoorsy stuff, I will continue watching. And I thought, I can't let one guy dictate the course of what I want to do. But he was right. If he's watching and coming in because he wants to see videos on camping and kayaking and outdoorsy and hiking and all that sort of stuff. He's not going to stick around while I take some time and put out knitting videos. So I was trying to alternate knitting on Tuesday, camping, outdoorsy stuff on the weekend. But I continued to lose subscribers. Now, as I went along, I realized that you are going to lose some. It's like the creative process. There's going to be high energy and low energy, and there's going to be dips in the whole process. So I tried to accept that. But then I thought, what if I create a separate knitting channel and just separate things out? So I created a separate channel. Now that I've done one, it was a little bit easier to set up. But for some reason, it got lost. I even had a tutorial on knitting, and the whole thing got lost. I could not find it. And I became angry. I was angry with YouTube, and even though it didn't know that, and just generally frustrated. So, and I realized, okay, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who go through a lot of frustration, and that's what I was going through. And then I began to think about it, that the nature of YouTube and the channel and who engages and who doesn't varies. And I don't need to be angry, but I do need to say, why are you doing this? And go back to those few basic reasons. Basically, they're fun and interesting. I like making the videos. I like editing because it's all a creative outlet for me. And when I'm dead and gone, my kids might watch it. So here's what I learned. I'm doing it because I like it. It's not about trying to get 1,000 subscribers or many subscribers. Although that would be great, because as a senior, I have this quiet little goal of supplementing my income with my channel. Now that I'm gripped by it, now that I see it as a business, now that I see it as something I want to do, and there are certain benefits, I want to do that. I want to do like a lot of people. You want to get monetized, you want to start seeing some money. I have a feeling it's not going to be a lot of money, but I set up my knitting channel again under a different Gmail address, and it worked. And I figured out how to switch from my original channel, Counselor Sue, Creativity and Living Life, over to Fun Knits for Beginners, and even how to switch over to this one, which I forget, Susan Johnson, My YouTube Journal, something like that. When you have a lot of creation, sometimes you get lost, so you need to write things down. So now I have 3 channels, and I'm going to find out how they go, which one's going to do best, which one will do well, maybe all of them. There's this ancient wisdom writing that says you plant your seed in the morning, and in the evening you can take a look at what you've got. It's not necessarily harvest time, but and you look at that and you say, well, is this succeeding, or is that succeeding, or maybe it's all going to succeed. And so, if nothing else, this is a chronicle, a journal of my journey setting up YouTube. Where does it go? What do I learn? And I'm sharing that. So it's called a vlog. Look, I'm a senior, so you're going to have to forgive me for a few things, because I don't know everything. Obviously, nobody does. But I know about counseling, and I know about marketing. So now I'm learning about YouTube. And this I know about myself. I like learning. I like research. I like organizing. I like the editing, which is also another reason why I'm sticking with this. So if you have any questions, if you're like me, if you're on that journey, let me know, and we can talk about this together. See you.